Hey, what's up, guys? Friday here, and welcome to episode number 8 of the EverQuest Round Table Rants. And today's topic is going to be contested content, yay or nay. First, let me clarify. Some people, probably mainly people that have only played WoW, they hear contested content and they immediately think PvP. They think that it's going to be a PvP situation. It's not correct. Going back to the days of EverQuest 1, contested content had to do with, basically, for the most part, always PvE elements. Where, say, after patch day, which WoW players will be familiar with patch day, everything usually respawns. So in EverQuest 1, whenever everything would always respawn after anytime a server went down, everything would respawn. So whether it was a scheduled patch day or a random server crash, everything would respawn. And all the good, not the good, but all like the raid content, especially current raid content, would always be contested. Whatever guild could amass the most players first and go kill that monster would get it. Now, what happened around that, what eventually started happening, like at least I know this happened on most servers. So probably by Runes of Kunark, more so Scars of Velius. Getting ahead of myself. Let's go over the questions first, and we'll talk more about this. Actually, no, this is a good preface because this will explain more of the contested content. So, by the third expansion of EverQuest 1, there was enough content that was worth raiding that, one guild could absolutely do it all, but it would have to be on multiple nights. So what they ended up doing was, you would the raiding guilds on each server would in a friendly manner would start creating schedules. Like Monday night, Guild A would get to go to Plane of Fear. That week. And the next week, on Monday night, Guild B would get to go to Plane of Fear, and Guild A on Monday night would get to go to Vishan's Peak. And stuff like that. Like, you would kind of have friendly rotating schedules with other guilds. So that was those were the, in the best case scenarios. It didn't always work out so nice. But that's kind of how it went. But a lot of times, if there was like a random server downtime, and a lot of times, like if there wasn't any kind of schedule that was, unofficially in place amongst the guilds, it would just be first come, first serve. And like say the server crashed at like 4 a.m. Eastern time. Like on my server, there was a I think it was a Japanese guild called Sunrise. So, like, if that ever happened, Sunrise would just kill everything because they were the only ones awake. They had a full guild on at 4 a.m. Eastern time. So yeah, if there was ever a server downtime and it came right back up, they would just kill everything and whatever. So the good and bad with that. Now it's like the way it used to go. There was sometimes if there was something that was truly contested, this is something that used to happen. Like, kind of like both guilds would show up, and it was kind of weird. Like, you'd be racing, like one guild be getting ready over on the right and one guild be getting ready over on the left, and you'd kind of be racing to see who would actually start doing that content. And if you started too soon, you had enough people, you would wipe, and you would have no shot at it. But it was kind of like the first person to start that content and start progressing and not dying would pretty much get that content. Now, I feel like in today's MMO world, that's not an option. And let's go through the topics, and I'll say why that's not an option. So, here's to the roundtable options. Contested content, yay or nay? Everything should be contested. The hardest content, most valuable reward content should be contested. There should be a good mix of both contested and non-contested content. Everything should always be available, non-contested, Players should never have to wait or compete for content. This is your atypical World of Warcraft player right here. This is what they're used to. I really don't have a strong opinion. Either way, both can work. So, I believe I picked this. Okay? I'm going to vote. And I was with the majority again this time. Now, we'll start from the bottom. The hardest, most valuable content should be contested. That's bullshit. That means the best stuff will always go to like the same group of people, you know, the same people that they can get, you know, given their schedules and whatever else, they're able to be on at a certain time every time, all the time, getting all the good stuff. They always get it. That's not fair. Not cool. Everything should be contested. That's just ridiculous. That gets that way out of hand. Like, that's how it was in EverQuest. But WoW, I think WoW definitely helped out progression of the MMO genre with instanced content, but they didn't actually fix everything. Moving on to, the worst was I really don't have a strong opinion. You know, this is something you should have an opinion about. If you don't have an opinion about this, you don't know enough about MMOs. Sorry. If I'm being mean, I'm sorry. And then, yeah, the winner was there should be a good mix of both, contested and non-contested. So, in most people that have played WoW and whatnot, non-contested content would basically equal instanced content, instanced quests, where a chain of events or a whole zone are populated in one instance for your group of friends to go do that, and you get all of that content. There's no one else there with you, and it's yours. Same thing where if you were to start, you know, that WoW had that where when you started a world quest, and the content that would appear, only the people that were in that group doing the quest would be able to see everything, and this way no one else could kind of fuck with what was going on. Now, I kind of the instance thing was good, and it was bad. It was good because, yeah, like everyone basically got a fair crack at all the content. You know, I think every guild and every server in EverQuest 1 at one time or another, probably for like the first 4 or 5 years of the game, there was one guild that was considered the Uber guild on that server, and they pretty much had everything on lockdown. Now, like I said, the guilds would work out a friendly guild rotation where, you know, there would be schedules and they would be adhered to, and it would be divvied up pretty fairly. But the Uber guild would be the one that like had the most people, had the most talented people, had the most geared people, and that would exponentially snowball, and then them just being more and more geared and being able to do things with less and less people. So if there was a server crash and the server came back up, you know, they could go do all these raid bosses because they either A, had enough people all the time, or B, they had less people, but they were geared to the teeth and they were able to do much harder content with much fewer people. So those people, in my opinion, in EverQuest 1, they had the most fun. And like, you know, if you were online with your friends, a lot of times you were like, oh, I wish I could do that. And you wouldn't be able to just because of you didn't have enough people, you weren't geared enough, whatever. And I think that's something where I think WoW did it right, but also at the same time it was wrong. Like when I stopped playing WoW right before they introduced the Raid Finder. I believe the Raid Finder, from what everyone said, was like basically completely easy mode, and it was a way for anyone to experience all the content. When I did play WoW again for the second time, up until I think my guild killed Heroic Ragnaros during Cataclysm, right before Dragon Soul came out, I quit. We were one of the top rating guilds in our server. We were still one of the only 25-man rating guilds in my server, and you know, you would definitely get some kind of fulfillment by doing the stuff hard, with 20 more people and doing on heroic. But to me, it seemed like, you know, if you did something on 10-man, 10-man was 10-man was always easier in WoW just because there was less people to manage, and it was legitimately easier. The scaled down a little bit, but whether you're doing 10-man heroic, 25-man heroic, whatever, I felt like the rush of going after some of that contested content was always really, really cool. And that was something I never ever felt in WoW. They still had random world bosses that would show up, but I never, when I started playing again, I played for about a year, I'd never seen any, you know. So it wasn't something like you would see. And, you know, I just going back to EverQuest 1, it was kind of cool to like roll into a dungeon or a place where a big bad monster spawned, and racing another guild to whoever could mobilize quick enough and then go in there and get it done. Or you try too soon, you're like, well, fuck it, well, you know, we're undermanned, we don't have enough healers, but fuck it, we're gonna go after it anyway, and you die trying, and they end up getting that raid mob because they wait until they have enough people and you wipe. But yeah, I think what's going to happen here in EverQuest next is we're going to see a little bit of both, and I feel like it's going to be better at first with the emergent AI. I'll try to have a link to the emergent AI down below because that's going to play a big part of this. The emergent AI is going to basically make the idea of camps and spawns and regularity to how you fight and where you fight is, for the most part, from what they make it sound like, it's going out the window. So the idea of like, all right, Tuesday night when the server comes back up, we're all meeting at the Bloody Hill, and we're gonna go kill the Bloody Dragon. Well, with the way emergent AI works, if you killed the Bloody Dragon there last week, you know, whether he comes back or his kin comes back as the next Bloody Dragon, however they're going to do it, the way the emergent AI is supposed to be shaping up is when you kill something in the same spot over and over again, it moves. So I'm thinking maybe with a raid boss, like if you're going after a specific dragon, or maybe they're going to be smart with it to where it's like a lineage of dragons per se, to where it's like, you know, in EverQuest 1 there was a red dragon named Nefarian, and I think it was Nefarian. Well, they used to call him Nephi, and he was a red dragon. So maybe with a red dragon like that, there'd be like, maybe they'll do something fun where it's like, you know, you can only find one of the Nef dragons. It'll be like maybe like Nef the Destroyer or Nef the Conqueror, and when you kill one, the next week, you know, it'll be a different dragon in the Nef clan, and it'll be on a different dragon roost somewhere else, and you're not going to know where it's going to be. You're not even going to know when it's going to pop up again. But between questing and exploration, those are the guilds and those are the people that are going to be able to find out where those dragons are and then slay them. So that's a thought, I think, of how things might work. And I can see Nikki's getting home now, so I'm going to end this episode, and I will talk to you guys soon, and see you later.